We are discussing the process creation and process termination, and with certain system calls we will be specifically discussing about the Unix system. So fork or spawn new processes may be created. So the process which create another process, this is termed as the parent process, while the created sub process is known as the child process. So every process has a unique integer identifier which is known as the PID or process ID. So the parent ID, PPID, is also stored for each process. If you see a Unix system, typical Unix system, the process scheduler is termed as SCHED, which is given the process ID 0. This is PID 0. Now the first thing when the system start up is to launch init, which is given the process ID 1, and then the init launches all the system daemons and user logins. These are the logins and etc. These are all further process are created, and this becomes the ultimate parent of all the processes. So the child process also may receive some shared resources, with whom the child processes may receive shared resources from the parent. It depends totally on the system implementation, and if you want to prevent the runaway children from consuming all the system these resources, because if the child will take control of the system resource, what will the parent do? So if you want to prevent this, the child processes may or may not be limited to a subset of the resource originally allocated to the parent. So there is a discretion which can be given. So there are two options. There are two options for the parent process after creating the child. There are two processes. First is it may wait. Second, it may run concurrently. So the first is the parent wait for the child process to terminate, to end. For that, what parent processes makes a wait system call, or for either a specific child process or for any particular child process, which causes the parent process to block until it gets the wait, or wait returns to it. So in Unix shells, this normally wait for their children to complete before issuing any new report. Then the second thing is it may run concurrently with the child, continuing to process without waiting. It will not wait. No waiting will be there. So when a Unix shell runs a process on a background task, this is the operation C. It may also be possible for the parent to run for a while. It may and then wait for a child later, which is sort of parallel processing operation. So there are two possibilities in terms of the address space now when the new process is there. The child process is a duplicate of the parent process, so they share a common address space, the child and the parent. And the child process has a program which is loaded into it. If you want to, if we can see the illustration of these different implementation, we have to see the Unix operating system. So in Unix, what happens? Each process is identified by PID, which is a unique integer, as we have just seen. So a new process is created by a fork system call. This we have also seen. So the new process consists of a copy of address space of the original process. P and C have the same original process, and this mechanism, this way allow the parent process and the child process to communicate easily because they have a common space. And both the process, that is P and C, that is parent and child, they continue execution at the instruction after the fork system call. There is one difference. The return code of the fork system call is 0 for child process, whereas it is non-zero, that is the process ID is non-zero of the child if it is returned to the parent. Typically we have execlp, XL, you can say, system call. This is used after the fork system call by one of these process, child or the parent process, to replace the process memory space with a new program. So what this except system does, or system call does, it loads a binary file into the memory. That is, it will destroy the memory image of the program containing the except system call, and then it starts its execution. So in this way, two processes are able to communicate and then they can go their separate ways. So we have a C program just to illustrate forking a separate process using Unix, and this is made Unix Ubuntu. We have a main, we have a process ID. So now a new process is being forked. So fork will create a new process. If this PID is less than 0, then what will happen? If this PID is equal to 0, what will happen? Else what will happen? So if this PID is less than 0, there is a problem, that is fail, this fork has failed, we'll exit. But if the process ID is 0, we'll call the EXECLP, right? EXECLP, as we just discussed. Otherwise, the parent process, the parent will wait for the child to complete, it will wait, and then when the child is complete, it will exit. So if there is a numerical tip also, if fork is called n times the number of child process or new process created are 2 to the power n minus 1. Then we have the child or process termination. For example, we have just discussed the process creation, now the process termination. So by making this exit system call, typically returning an integer, the processes may request their own termination. They may call okay, we want to end. So this int, this int is passed along to the parent if it is doing a wait. So this will be passed, and it's typically 0. It is typically 0, as we have seen in the program, on successful completion, and some non-zero code in the event of any other problem. So process may also be terminated by the system. We may have variety of reasons, which include the inability of the system to deliver the necessary system resources, first of all, in response to kill command or other unhandled process interrupts. A parent may kill its children if the task assigned to them is no longer needed. That is, if the need of having the child terminates. If the parent exits, the system may or may not allow the child to continue because the parent is already terminated without a parent. That is, in Unix system, the orphaned messages whose parent is not there, they are generally inherited by INIT, which is on the top, which then goes to kill them. So when a process ends, all of its system resources, they are freed up, and open files are flushed and they are closed. So the process termination status and execution times, they are returned to the parent if the parent is still waiting for the child to terminate, or eventually returned to INIT, the top one, if the process are already become an orphan. So the processes which are trying to terminate but cannot do so because their parent is not waiting for them, these are known as zombies. They don't have parents, so they want to terminate but cannot do because their parent is not waiting for them to they are zombies. So these are eventually inherited by the top one in it as orphans, and then they are killed off. So this is the Unix perspective of process creation and process termination. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.